Welcome to Module 4. Module 4 is all about traffic. Before we get started, I'm going to do a little bit of an introduction to traffic because there are a few things that you need to know before we get started with some more specific techniques and tricks when it comes to traffic. So obviously, first of all, traffic means visitors to your website. So it doesn't matter where they come from. Any visitors to your website, that is what we call traffic in the internet marketing world, in case you weren't familiar with that. But one thing I really want to emphasize when it comes to traffic, because I see this going wrong so often in this world, people focus way too much on traffic, getting traffic, tricks, techniques, tactics for getting traffic. And this is one of the main reasons, I think, for the shiny object syndrome in this world, where people just keep buying course after course after course because they think they need to learn some secrets, tricks, techniques, tactics for getting traffic. But if you followed all the previous modules and you've built your website, your landing pages, your email series, it's far more important to focus on getting those things to convert very well than it is to get cheap traffic or free traffic and using some tricks and techniques, because you can get traffic anywhere. It's really easy to get traffic. You can just pay Facebook and you get tons of traffic. Pay Google, you get tons of traffic. What you can't pay these companies to do is make your funnel convert better. That is something that you are responsible for. So if you focus more on getting your funnel to convert better, your website, your email series, your landing pages, etc., then traffic is an afterthought. Traffic can be gotten pretty much anywhere. And so that is why I don't want you to obsess over traffic. That is why this traffic module is just an example of some of the things, some of the ways you can get traffic, but it's not the only way. There are literally millions of ways to get traffic to your website. So please keep that in mind and don't keep looking for the shiny objects when it comes to traffic. Just focus on getting your funnel to convert, and then you can get traffic pretty much anywhere. Now, one other thing I want to talk about, free traffic versus paid traffic. People obsess also way too much about getting free traffic. But what they don't realize when they do is that free traffic costs just as much, if not more, than paid traffic, because free traffic costs time. And there is really no such thing as actual real free traffic. Over time, when you start building your business, you will get what is called organic traffic simply by having a website, having good content on your website, having people share that content on your website. But it really does take a lot of time to build up to that stage. So don't obsess about trying to get free traffic over paid traffic. If paid traffic is what you want, if fast traffic is what you want, you will have to pay for that traffic. If you have a bit more time and you want to just slowly build it up, then you can choose to go for free traffic. But really don't think that paid traffic costs a lot and free traffic doesn't cost anything, because paid traffic costs money, but it doesn't cost as much time, whereas free traffic doesn't cost money, but it costs loads and loads of time. So that being said, let's move on and look at the different ways I recommend you can get some free traffic. And if you decide to go with paid traffic, then do check out also my section on Facebook ads. So the main thing to keep in mind when it comes to traffic is to think about, why would somebody come to your website? What would entice them to go there? So there's basically only two reasons why anyone would go to any website. Either they are looking for the content that's on your website, or they were somehow enticed or presented with your website, and they were curious enough to click on whatever enticed them to go to your website. So that means if they were looking for the content of your website, that means you get traffic from either SEO or search pay-per-click. So that means either they typed in something in Google and your website came up, or they typed in something in Google and you paid for getting clicks at that keyword. So either way, they were already looking for what your website has. So the other one is they were presented by it, and that is if you use banner advertising, social media advertising, or email marketing. So that is, you send someone an advertisement and then hope that through that advertisement they click on it and go to your website. So remember that the difference between the two is quite big. Someone who's looking for your website is very much more likely to be really, really interested in what's on there than someone who's merely presented by an ad. Now, obviously with, for example, Facebook ads, where you can target people very specifically, we can influence who gets to see our ads and make sure that it's only presented to people who are most likely to be interested in it and click on it. But still, if someone Googles something, they are very, 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 very likely to click on pages that come up as search results. Whereas if someone just browses through their Facebook newsfeed, if you get with your advertising like 3% of the people who see your advertisement to click on it, that's already considered really, really high. So keep that difference in mind, that people who are looking for content are much more likely to be really, really interested in it than people who are just presented with an ad for it. And then apart from the distinction between free and paid traffic, there's another way to look at different types of traffic. There's the traffic over which you have no control whatsoever. There's traffic over which you have control, and there is traffic that you own. And these also have different value. So traffic over which you have absolutely no control, for example, is word of mouth. If people heard about you or your business or your product for some reason, they thought it was good and they recommend it to someone else, you don't really have any control over it. I mean, obviously you can influence it, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen by itself. SEO is another thing that you have not really much control over. Sure, you can put good content on your website, you can optimize it for SEO, but in the end, it just happens. It just happens. You can't really turn it off or on. You can't really get more of it automatically. Whereas traffic that you do control is traffic that you pay for. So PPC advertising, for example, is traffic you can control. You can say, okay, if I spend $100, I get 100 clicks. So if I spend $200, I get 200 clicks, etc. You can just pay more and more to get more traffic, or you pay less to get less. You just turn it on or off whenever you want. You have some control over that traffic. But there is another type of traffic that doesn't fall into those two categories, and that is traffic that you own. Traffic that you own is your email list, for example. People on your email list, if you send them an email, they will go where you send them in that email. Well, not every one of them, but a lot of them will. And this is something that you have both control over as well as it is free, because you've already paid for those people to be on your list, either with time or money. So you already have paid what it costs to get that traffic. So it's traffic that is both free, but traffic you have control over. So that's traffic you own. And it's super important. That's why it's super important to build your list. Now, social media is kind of a weird mixture of those, because on social media, any one of these three traffic types can be found. For example, word of mouth, if people share your post, that is something you have no control over. Whereas if you boost a post on Facebook, for example, that is PPC advertising. So that is traffic you do have control over. And if you have a Facebook group, a group of people that have already joined your group, you post in there, that is traffic you own, just like with an email list. So you can post something there and you can get a certain number of those people to go to whatever you want, because you've kind of already paid for it by getting those people into your group in the first place. So keep in mind that social media is kind of a weird mixture. And when people say, oh, their traffic is social media, well, that doesn't really mean anything. That still means that it could be so many different kinds of traffic.